Okay, so now I want to get into an example here that is a little bit different. It's not, so much equation. It's kind of like a little word problem, and we can actually relate this to a couple different situations that you will probably, occur sometime. So this example says, you have two coupons at a local store, and first coupon is you save 30% off the next purchase, and the second one is take $100 off the next purchase. So you're going to go to the store, you're going to spend $500, and you want to use both coupons. Assuming the store accepts them both, which coupon will they apply first and why? So first, let's kind of take a look at this. And when we have like any type of word problem, we always want to see how we can like define our situation. So we want to kind of represent here the save 30% off your next purchase, and I'm going to use function notation to represent that. So if we have a function, and if I'm going to, spend, let's just say $500, and I'm going to save 30%, well, how can we represent that? So, obviously we spend $500 and we don't get anything off, then it's $500. And we could take 30%, write it as a decimal, 0.30 times 500. That would be our savings, and then we could subtract that from 500. Or what we could do is just take, well, if we're saving 30% or we're getting 30% off, that means we are only going to have to pay 70%. And again, I'm going to write 70% as a decimal. So I can say 70% and then times however much we're going to spend. Now, X is now going to divide. X is going to represent our, amount spent. So I'm going to define X. So I'll just say X equals the amount you buy or amount you spend. Okay. And in this example, that's going to be 500, but obviously that could be, we're writing some functions to represent a general situation for anything. The next one is we have $100 off. So let's call that, g of x. So if I have g of x, so if I'm going to take $100 off, no matter what I spend, I'm just going to take x and then I'm going to subtract $100. So I'll just say, x minus 100. So these are our kind of two functions. So now we got to go and investigate into the question. If you're allowed to use both coupons, doesn't matter the order that the coupons are applied, right? Does it make sense for us to apply 70% first and then subtract 100? Or does it matter if we subtract 100 and then take 70% off? Now, if you have some math intuition, you might already say, oh, I already know the kind of option that's better. But let's kind of look at this mathematically and see, how that order, really kind of matters. So if we are going to, so there's a couple different ways that we can, represent this. And I looked at this represent. So let's do the first option. Option number one. And let's say for option number one, we are going to subtract 100 and then take 70% of that. So how would we, kind of represent that as a function? We'll call that new function h of x. Okay. So if we have a value x, which in this case is going to be 500, if we are going to subtract $100 from that first, so we just basically say x minus 100, and then we're going to take that value and multiply it by 70%. And that's going to be our value for that. So let's go ahead and evaluate for h of 500, which I think I might be running out of space here. Oops. So we do 0.70 times 500 minus 100. And let's see, I did my calculations. I didn't want to pull up a calculator, but you can see I even have this lovely calculator because everything else is at home. So let's see, if I do 100 minus that, that's going to be 400. And then 400 times 0.70 is going to give me 280. Now, I decided to eliminate the dollar sign just for my mathematical operations. We could obviously put $100 there and put, $100 dollar sign, but for the mathematical purpose, I just wanted to focus on the numbers. But then obviously the answer to the question is, in dollar amount, so we're going to want to make sure we include that dollar amount in our answer. So h of 500 equals $280. So again, that means if you are spending $500, you subtract 100 and then take 70% of that, the amount that you're going to need to spend is $280. Now let's go and take a look at option 2. So option number 2 is basically stating, all right, well, let's call this h, let's call this k of x, new function. Okay? So for this function, for this new option, basically what we're going to do is we're going to take 0.70 of x. So you're going to take the amount that you spend, you're going to immediately take 70% off that, and then you're going to subtract $100. So if I want to figure out what k of 500 is, again, kind of like what we've done before, we're just going to plug 500 into the function and see what we get. So we get 0.70, times 500, and then minus 100. I don't know why I didn't zoom in here. Okay, now I did do the math ahead of time. So 0.70 times 500 is going to be 350, and then minus $100 is going to be 250. So we can say k of 500 is going to equal $250. So now that we've done the kind of math, now it kind of goes into the question, and again, this is from the store's perspective, not our perspective. So assuming the store accepts both, which coupon will they apply first and why? Well, if you think about it, if we do option 1, you're going to have to spend $280 with the same 2 coupons. If it's option 2, you're only going to have to spend $250, right? So you can see that if the store says, well, we'll accept both coupons, but we're only going to follow the coupons, that means we're going to subtract the $100 first and then apply the 70%, you can see that they're going to make you spend $30 more at the store. So they can still, honor their system saying we're going to accept both coupons, but we're just going to follow this process rather than this process. So this one is obviously better for the store. This option is better for you. And the reason why I'm saying this comes up, a lot. There's, I've seen a lot of things on, online and stuff like that where people are looking at tips. When you go to a restaurant and a restaurant will, automatically provide, a gratuity. Well, what they're doing is, let's just say your bill is, $50 or something. And what they do, rather than computing, the gratuity, let's just say 10%, rather than taking the 10% of, $50, what they do is they add all the taxes on and all of the taxes to that. So let's just say the taxes were, $55, then they take 10% of that and add it to it. So what they do is, let's just say, it's 10%, so it'd be 1.10. And then they times that by 1.1. So this is what you, or at least, what typically you see the cost of your meal, that's, you pay the gratuity on. And then this is when they give their average gratuity, this is what they'll go ahead and add on. And, I was a waiter before, so I'm not going to, say one way is, better than the other, but it's just make sure that you're, aware of what you're, paying on that, paying for that, for good or for bad. Obviously, all people need to, make a living and so on and so forth, but I don't want to get into a conversation like that because we could get a lot deeper into things like that. But it's just one thing that, some restaurants, I don't know of all of them what they do, but you can see that if they add on the taxes and then take their gratuity, they're going to be able to get more money for, their server to be able to add on. So it's just something to be aware of, not really giving an opinion, good or bad, but it's just something to be aware of. Same thing with coupons, noticing how they apply those coupons, if there are 2 coupons, to see which one is going to be the advantage for you, or for, the store or the consumer. So that is one thing just to kind of lighten you, but also to kind of take a look at. The last thing I want to do is now we're going to get into this composition. And actually I'll be, refined up to here, is if you look at this is very similar to what we did in our last function, or in our warm-up here, way up here. If you remember this warm-up, we took a function and we plugged it into the other function, right? And that process is what we call composition. So if you look at this example, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking one function, in this case g of x, and plugging it into f of x. And that represents my new function h of x, which is a composition of f and g. And if you look at option 2, it's the exact same process, except now I'm taking the function f of x and plugging it into g of x. So that's something that we're going to now that you kind of got like a real world example of it, now we're going to get into that a little more detailed in example number 4, because that was example number 3. So now we'll look at example number 4 with different functions.